this also is the picture that was submitted a while ago. And this picture, you're wondering about the tones or the skin tone.
Yes,
I think,
and they
right?
vary. It's part of yellow and part of
So, but I feel like though this part is green and yellowish possibly. So I'll probably start with putting a little more magenta in here, but then it will start to add everywhere a magenta too. I'm gonna open this one in Photoshop. And I will open the version with the Lightroom adjustment applied too. Let's take this one as the image that is completely adjusted already. Okay. And basics of masking, right? So I'm gonna do a really basics of masking what this masking is. If you have a selection, selected area, and you take a look at the layers, and with the selection active, and if you click on to add mask, you hide the area that wasn't selected and showing the area that was selected. That is what this mask is about. Here, there is a mask here. So the black area is hiding the picture. So you see this checker mark, transparency. And the white area is the visible area. Now, I'm gonna get rid of not the whole picture, but the mask. So that is for, say, to hide certain part of the picture or show there's certain part of the picture if you have a layers. But if you like to adjust only certain part of the picture, what do? Then you simply start selecting the areas. I am going to do something else in here. I can use any selection tools. And I was gonna just select this way, but this is probably too rough and too much. So I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to go to select from the top menu. And I'm gonna go to something called color range. This color range, I think did we take a look at it before?
Color what?
Color range.
No.
Okay, so the color range is helpful if you have color or tonal separation and select certain areas. Like for example, if you like to select this color, then click on it and then start lowering the fuzziness. And this is the preview. Wherever that is white is selected. Black is not selected. You can add that selection by clicking on to add and say, well, I'm gonna just keep going. Well, it did pretty well actually, but I'll click one more time here and I'm just to keep adding to the selection saying to Photoshop that this is the color that I'm trying to select. And this is a selection. It's pretty good. Don't you think?
Would you repeat what you
And then I'll say okay, and this blue area is selected. I'm gonna deselect. I'll try that. Go to filter the selection, select, color range, and you start with all the way to 100% fuzziness. So nothing is specified or everything is inclusive right now. Everything is included, basically. There are 3 eyedropper tools. One, this is where you should start. And this eyedropper tool, select it you choose the area that you like to select. Say, I would like to select her hair, click. Then that hair that I clicked on becomes light. Other area is darker, that is not selected. I would like to create more contrast so that my selection becomes more clean and obvious.
Is there something special about the left eyedropper?
I will go over that. So left eyedropper, this one?
Yes.
This one is special because that is how you start specifying where you want to sample. What color you like to get. And then slowly you start to put in the fuzziness.
So with the fuzziness, so I just did this yesterday because I was changing the color of the background.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the color range, I did the selection. So at the end, the product that I had, at the end, there was this real sort of separation from the subject to the background at this point. It was, so does the fuzziness help almost feather that?
Fuzziness wouldn't. Could yes, fuzziness could help that, but fuzziness I would use it to separate it. And if you like to have a feather, I would feather it after I make a mask.
Okay.
Later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that would be in the selection map.
Yeah.
Because there was a real obvious separation there.
Yeah.
that I didn't
So it's
want.
so clean. Yeah. So you like to feather it up. Yeah. In the mask.
So I don't understand by moving it to the left, what are you achieving?
So if I'm not moving all the way here, I don't see any separations of where it's selected and not selected. As I move a fuzziness inwards, you see how it's separated into black area and then white area, just like how we see it in the mask. And that is achieving this white area to be a selected area, this black area to be not selected area. So I would like to create that separation.
So you move it to the left
Until you feel that you have enough separation. Okay?
which eyedropper did you?
So first, I start with this. This is the starting point. And if you like to keep adding, then plus mark. The minus is subtracting. Subtracting gets a little tricky, so I don't really use that too much. I always add to sample.
You're talking about adding to the mask.
Adding to the selection, yeah.
Adding to the selection, not to the mask necessarily.
I am going to show you another one, specifically for some picture like this. There is sample colors area, select sample colors, which is you're telling Photoshop to pick specific colors. You can choose to pick certain colors or tones or skin tones. And then you can start to put this, which is not so successful, so I'm gonna give up on that actually. But sometimes it really will separate the face to all the other ones or body parts to all the other ones. So this is another options for you. I think sample colors is helping for me, so I'll do that again and maybe try to do that here. So you have the selection. And if you like to go into curves, then this curves adjustment has a mask on it to the area that has this almost like face, and then some of the face of the baby, the hands, and then the hair too. You can kind of see that. Of course, this requires feathering. Then it looks much better. Now, I'm going to go into green channel. Wait. Let's talk about the curves. I jump in here. So the curves in adjustment layer, I always show you curves because curves are really useful tools. You can adjust any tones from the darkest dark to the lightest light. This peak or the histogram that you are looking at is the selected area's tonal and color information. That's why it's only peaks in the middle.
So those are all midtones?
Yeah, it seems like midtones to slightly brighter tones is what this face is. And if you use this hand mark, this is a targeting tool, and you can come over to certain areas like here to target. So it is kind of obvious that there is a cluster of information in this area, and then if I come over to the cheek, then it also is overlapping basically. I click on it, and the anchor points start to become created. In that anchor point, you can drag it up and down, or you can use the arrow keys to go up and down to add some tone differences. I think it is a little too hot, so I'm gonna just bring down a bit. This is the overall adjustment that I am doing. This adjustments that I added is applied to RGB channels altogether. So when I am doing that, it's only affecting the tones, not the individual color adjustments. We were talking about how it looks slightly green. I don't think so much, but I'm gonna just go to green channel, and I will start to put a little bit of the adjustment on here. Same thing. I'm still using this targeting tool. I'll come over to this cheek area, and anchor points created. If you like to add green, then you will grab this one and pull it out up, or you can use the arrow key to go up, which is very green, or you like to go down to take down the greenness. And I think just a little bit like this could be helpful. It's just only 4 point. But that could give you a little bit more of the not too pale skin tone. Possibly now it looks slightly blue on my monitor. On here, I'm not really sure, but let me just go to a blue channel and then click on to the cheek area again. And I have the anchor point. If it is too blue, then I will bring this point down. I'm using the arrow key and then adding slight yellow. Top, so it's just really like 4 point again. And from here to here. So this is a mask. And this is, a mask created by selecting the skin area using this color range. So this really start with selection. I'm going to save this one in and then go back to something else too. I was looking at this picture. I really enjoyed this picture very much. So I adjusted it in Lightroom already. So there is some changes made already. So this was dark overall and maybe slightly cold. So those adjustments are already made in Lightroom. I'm going to skip this part and I'm going to jump into Photoshop. So up to this point, I'm doing the general overall universal adjustment so that I have all the information necessary to play with, to mold it to the point where I would like this picture to be looking. And I think you do need to know what you're looking for at this point. Otherwise, no ending adjustment will happen in Photoshop, actually, I think. You'll keep adjusting forever. So in this, though, from the composition, she is the center of the interest, I think. And then she's surrounded by all the vegetables around. And then our eyes start to wander around the place. And then also we will notice about her looking at us too. And then we start to study what's going on in the frame, and we discover something hidden in the background too. So start with studying what's in the picture and what you like to feature. Yes, of course, I would like to feature her, but then to do so, I might have to do some adjustment. Like bright area, I might like to bring this tone slightly down so that my eye gets navigated more to the center. This corner at the bottom left, this may be also a little bright. I would like to frame her around the vegetable, but then if something is bright in the one side, this picture may kind of bleed out to this side too. So I might bring that one down too. Opposite thing is that in here, I might also give a little bit of the emphasis on her too. Like how somebody is actually aware of who the photographer is too. So I'm going to open up the shadow area. So those kind of things comes in mind when I see the picture. And based on that, I'll start adjusting them. So if you don't know, then look at the picture and study it and then see what this picture is about. Then start adjusting them. Okay? So this time, I would do a very casual selection, starting with quick selection tool. And I'm going to over to this white plastic area by just clicking on it, and then it just select it. Just really easy. And once you select this area, then I would like to adjust the tone. I'm going to go to curves. So you're going to see lots of curves today too. So in the curve, this adjusted area, not adjusted area, selected area in the top right has a lots of highlight information, but good things that it's not clipping. I have information in here too, but I would like to make this one darker. This top corner, that's the brightest bright information. And this is RGB, so I'm talking about tones. I don't really want to make this one in yellow or red or any other color. I just want to make it darker. Then I will grab the brightest area information, click on it, and I'll start to bring this one down. I'm going to compare. You might think that it's becoming a little muddy. Then you can just try to create within there a little contrast. The contrast means that this curves, the lighter area is more, the brighter, it's higher, the more, the lighter information, more information. Darker area is now pulled down, so becoming darker. Therefore, it's more contrast in this area. So it's darker, but didn't really lose the contrast. I'm going to actually get closer. And I'm going to use something called Color Sampler Tool. Color Sampler Tool is hidden behind the Eyedropper tool. And this is very helpful to find out about color information on certain area of the picture. Color Sampler Tool let you see what kind of information, the color information or tonal information this area has. So with this color sample selected, I click and then create the point. It says, woo, number 1. Info palette is activated. Then the info palette actually shows the color information on the area that I clicked on. Wow, that is very close. Okay, let's take a look at this info palette and then what they are. So this info palette tells you red and green and blue channels information. It's 232/210, 232/210, 231/209. This left side, the number indicates previous information before I put the curves adjustment. This is after adjustment. So before is left side and after is right side. But either way, both are only a point differences because I didn't go to individual channels and shift any color information. Another thing about this, the color sampling tool, is that there is a different sample size. And the point where I clicked is the number that is showing here is based on where I clicked on, and that is based on 1 pixel. That's why I was very surprised where I clicked. It's really neutral. You don't really want to sample from 1 pixel because if you are a millimeter left or right, information starts to shift dramatically. So you usually like to do 3 by 3 pixels or 5 by 5 pixels samples. I'm going to just go to 5 by 5 just for that. Still 1 point differences. So this area, this number tells me that it is very neutral. If those 3 colors are the same, then it's completely neutral. No color shifting. If you like to live in the perfect world, I will go to blue channel because if you look at this number, blue channel is 1 point more. So I can try to fix that. I don't know if we are living in the perfect world. I click onto the targeting tool in blue channel, because blue channel, it says it's 209. I would like it to be 208. I click onto here, click, target it. So the points, anchor points created, that is where this number 1 is. And I need to bring that one down 1 point. Oh, that is perfectly neutral. Questions so far about the sampling tool? Okay. So another thing that I will start looking into here.
I do have a question. Sorry.
Yes.
Why 208 makes it perfectly neutral?
So red and green and blue has its all same values.
Oh, I was thinking that it was 210 still.
It's all same values, that's why. When red and green and blue has same values, that will make it neutral. And this is indicating that it is a highlight. It's 200s are usually the bright areas. 255 is the brightest information. Actually, it's paper white.
So what you did was you just changed the color balance on just
This area.
that area.
Yep.
Rather than the whole picture, but now, could you have done that for the whole picture just as well?
But I have already done it in here using the white balance tool. It's kind of similar in effect. So in here, another thing I will probably do is to grab the lasso tool. And I will do a very casual selection of this area down here that I think is a little bright. I'm selecting this area, the bottom left. And I would like to make it slightly darker. So again, the selection active, I'm gonna go to curves. And again, I'm talking about the overall tones. So I'm not going to go into individual channels. And I'm going to, I'm looking at this histogram and determining, okay, this histogram in the center is around here. So click onto the center of this histogram that has most information live. And then I'll bring this one down.
Why didn't you use the same technique that you used before when you just pulled down the upper right-hand corner?
Because that is only for the highlights, because it's a bright area. This time I just wanted to bring the overall tones. This area,
I see. I got it.
it's a bright area, so bringing down overall doesn't really do it. But in this case, because there are a mixture of the tones, so I just brought down the middle one down overall. So in here, and then I'll do an opposite thing in here. I'll bring out and select this area. You see how casual it is? But that works really. And then I'll go to curves, and same thing. I'll grab the this section is the area that has most information. So I'm gonna go to the middle part of the area that has a clustered information. And then this time I'll bring that one up. So it's brighter. I don't know if I'd like to bring that one up actually, just a little bit. My selection is rough, and you can tell by if you do something crazy like this. I have a really sharp edge. Because I was really like not really changing too much information, that line wasn't visible. But if you start to do that, that line will start to become pretty visible. So that line needs to be blurred or softened, then here feather it. So this must be the same in the other side. I go to the layer that I adjusted the bottom left side and feather it. Let me just do one more. This side, I would like to bring up this side. I can do a really casual selection, or just to show, maybe I'll do a quick selection. Quick selection, select too much though. Yeah, that's probably good. Okay, so I selected the shadow area. And again, selection active, I go to curves. And this time, the information is really clustered to the left side because it's all dark, the shadows. I may be able to go in here and then click, or you can even go targeting tool, and then come over to the shadow area and click on it and bring that one up. I might actually bring that one down slightly more. So it was here, but now started to reveal a little bit. So what I did overall was partial adjustment, like bring out this area, bring down this area, bring up this area, bring down this area, bring up this area, and then shadows also bring up. And then after that, maybe I do see, I don't know. Sorry. I think I lost. Oh, this is what I wanted to do. I feel like my last bit I would do probably is this. Select it, curve, even overall bring that one down to give a little more drama. Soften the edge. Something like that. I don't think I softened this edge either. So I'll soften that edge. I can probably keep going, but I'm gonna stop here from this one to here. This one to here. So see how by changing the tones, your focus shift too, right? I'm trying to navigate people by not only, well, the photographer uses the focus to do a, navigation of the vision, but also the tones and colors and that kind of things can be used in here too. Let me just do a very quick one more. Because this is what I wanted to show you. This one. So I'm going to open this picture, and this one has a lot of layers. And lots of work is already done here. I'm going to use that and soften the edges. For example, if you come closer, the edges are slightly like visible here. So say if you go to a dress, then we can start to deconstruct what Lynn did here. So this is the color. So if this one, the color, is blurred a little bit. This is, say that's this one doesn't have the mask. So I would blur the mask, but because it didn't have the mask, so I would blur the colored area. It's almost like feathering the edge. If you go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, I think it will do. Soften it. Or it wouldn't do. Yeah. So the edge is softer. Another edge I think must be the outside. So I'm gonna say okay to this, and I'm gonna say, yeah. So this background also has this one. In that background, I'm going to go and blur it too. So it's kind of really similar to how, though I don't see it. Okay, I have to do two things because there is a mask in here too, probably. And then I'm gonna go to this mask and then try to blur it too. And that would blur and so soften the edge actually.
So because that's a mask, you
Yep.
would blur it, but you would use a feather in this situation?
Or yeah, you can use the feather. Yes, true. You can feather it too. Because it is a mask, yes, you can use the feather.
Because wouldn't the blur just blur what the hue saturation was doing?
Right. So for this particular image, you can go into individual tones, the colored area, and then blur it. But if you have a mask, then you can feather the mask in here.
I'm getting sidetracked here, but one of the brilliance of this format is that, like, it's a jigsaw puzzle, and when you get it together,
I can see.
It's like your green, when you first put it on, looks one way, and then you get it next to the blue and the red, and you go, oh, I have to make an adjustment.
Right.
So, I mean, all these colors, I mean,
Start to shift on top of each other,
Yeah,
right?
they
The way
change.
that it
I can
blends.
change them 4, 5, 6 times.
Right.
A week later and go, oh, that's too red.
I bet, yeah.
It's really kind of brilliant the way he did this.
Yeah. Okay. So that is maybe good, and so that we have like 30 minutes working time. Do you want to see more? Yeah, so I'm gonna do this one again next week. Bringing in a little different material. So today, were you clear about how mask works still? Right? So just select it. And casual selection is okay too. Sometimes some masking tutorials and instructions call for this clean edge and just the perfect selection, but it doesn't have to be that way really. It can be a really casual selection like this. And then select the overall areas. And then after you select and then make a mask, then you blur it. And then start from there. Okay?
I finally understand curves.
Very good. And then also curves. It's not so scary, is it?
It's better now.
Yeah. So if you go to Blackboard, it's a very simple exercise part. It doesn't have a step-by-step instruction here, but I'm depending on Paul's video. And then also maybe your note or mental note. So based on today's demo in class, I would like you to pick any one of the picture and apply the curves adjustment layer and also use the mask to do a color and tonal adjustment. Just one picture. And you can submit it to me in class next week as an exercise 5 picture. Remember to use the color sampler tool. That is very useful too. Color sampler tool is located in 6 one from the top, and often it is hidden behind this eyedropper tool. So this bottom one, color sampler tool, this is what you like to do. Also remember to sample not 1 point sample, but 5 by 5 or so. Okay?